while, saying, listen, if we enact this policy, if we first we ban guns to stop gun violence, then we ban knives to ban knife violence, well, what's next? If we look at the homicide statistics from the FBI in our own country, Brandon, the majority of homicides are actually committed with people's hands. I mean, that old line from James Bond, you know, my hand's a license to kill here. How are we going to regulate that?
Yeah, you can't. But here, you cannot regulate. You cannot regulate people with the intent to do crime. All right, you can have as many laws as you want, but if you are intent on breaking those laws, then all the laws in the world aren't going to matter. Right? The more laws you put on people, the more you create criminals out of everyday citizens. If they actually did ban an AR-15 or an AK-47, I would become a criminal simply for owning one. You cannot regulate hatred. You cannot regulate evil. All right, you can regulate people from maybe hurting society overall with X, Y, and Z, drugs or tanks and missiles and stuff like that. But when it comes to murder or robbery or rape, you cannot stop people unless you give people the ability to stop others themselves.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say, too.
Common sense.
That's what I was going to say. And, of course, after listening to this part of the segment, people are going to be like, well, why do we have laws at all? What's the solution here? Because we can't have murderers running rampant in our country. And they're exactly right. You can't regulate people's behavior, but you can implement in a society deterrence to that behavior, making it very unappetizing for criminals to engage in that type of behavior because they know they will suffer the immediate consequences. The best deterrent for crime, the best deterrent for murders is arming law-abiding citizens. And I mean, it's sad that we have to get to this point in our country, but if we look at London, if we look across the pond at London, I mean, these people that have been murdered in the last 19 days, what would have happened if they had been able to defend themselves? If they'd been able to arm themselves, would they still be alive today?